I was abandoned after something traumatic happened. Never shared before. I'm a 28-year-old gay man now, but when I was 12 or 13, something happened that changed me forever. I've carried it with me all these years, and it shaped so much of who I am, my fears, my relationships, and my view of the world. At that age, I used to hang out with two classmates, a girl and a boy, who was a year older than me but in the same grade. At one point after school, we started playing silly games, which eventually turned into truth or dare. The girl dared me and the boy to French kiss for a minute, saying she'd show us her chest if we did. We laughed, feeling awkward, but went along with it. That kiss was a turning point for me. I'd never felt anything like it before. Up until that moment, I didn't think I was gay, but afterward, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I didn't care about seeing the girl's chest, I just kept replaying that kiss in my mind. A year later, both of them stayed behind a grade, but the boy and I remained close. During the summer, I'd go to his house a lot. We'd watch WWE, listen to old school music, or just hang out. When school started again, we weren't in the same class anymore, but I'd still visit him on Mondays after school. One day, while we were hanging out, he started watching porn and touching himself. I didn't join in, but I was intrigued and couldn't look away. This became a regular thing, and after a few weeks, he asked me to suck him off. At first, I laughed it off, but he kept insisting, and eventually, I gave in. From that point on, we were intimate almost every time we met. We started having sex, kissing, and texting constantly. I was completely in love with him and knew for sure by then that I was gay. He, however, kept insisting he wasn't. I didn't understand what he meant, but I ignored it because I cared about him so much. Then one day, everything fell apart. We were at his house one afternoon, in the middle of having sex, when someone started banging on the window. He had forgotten he'd invited two friends over to play video games. They were shouting for him to let them in, teasing him about having a girl inside. Panicked, he told me to hide in his parents' wardrobe while he let them in. When he opened the door, the boys barged in and began searching the house for the girl. One of them, an older boy who was known for being violent and unpredictable, was particularly insistent. My heart was racing as I hid in the wardrobe, praying they wouldn't find me. But then he opened the door, and there I was. I'll never forget the look on their faces, the shock, the confusion. My boyfriend turned bright red and ran out of the house, leaving me alone. The two boys stared at me, and then everything spiraled. The violent one started shouting slurs at me. Things escalated quickly, and he forced himself on me and forced me perform a sexual act on him while calling me degrading names. I was crying, begging him to stop. The other boy made him stop. I could tell he was horrified by what was happening. They left not without that stupid boy degrading me a bit more. I was out of the house as soon as they left. I was shaking, humiliated, and terrified. I didn't go to school for the rest of the week, Tuesday to Friday. I was too scared to face anyone, too ashamed, and too broken. During those days, I tried to contact my boyfriend. I texted and called him repeatedly, but he blocked me on everything, my phone, Facebook, everything. It was as though I never existed to him. The pain of being abandoned by someone I trusted and loved only made everything worse. On Friday evening, the other boy, the one who had stopped the violent boy, messaged me on Facebook. I couldn't believe it. I thought it was some kind of setup, a way to humiliate me even more. But he asked if I was okay and said he noticed I hadn't been at school. We talked briefly. He reassured me that no one would find out what happened. I wanted to believe him, but I was still skeptical. Then he told me something that shocked me even more. The violent boy's mother had died over the week, she'd been hit by a car and probably wouldn't come back to school the rest of the year. We were close to the end tilde 2 or 3 months, and I was moving to another school because that was the last year for me in that school. I didn't know how to process that information. I confirmed it with a friend who told me about the accident. It was true. I felt a strange mix of emotions, relief that he wasn't around to torment me anymore, guilt for feeling that way, and sadness for his mother's death, because I have lost my mum as a child. The following week, I forced myself to go back to school. To my surprise, everything was normal. My classmates didn't seem to suspect anything, and no rumors were going around. I think they just assumed I had been sick or lazy, as I'd always been a bit of a slacker when it came to attendance. But inside, I was anything but normal. My boyfriend ignored me completely, avoiding me in the hallways and acting like I didn't exist. He started dating a girl almost immediately after. I was devastated. To me, he had been my first love, but to him, I was apparently nothing. That experience left scars that I still carry today. I live as an openly gay man now, but I often find myself haunted, and the lingering questions about how it all unfolded. I think about him sometimes, the boy I loved, wondering if he ever thinks about me or what we shared. Was he scared? Ashamed? Did he care at all? Or was I just some experiment to him? The way he cut me off so completely, like I never mattered, has left a wound, a deep sense of fear and anger when I think about him. And the other boy? What he did to me was something no one should ever have to endure. Sometimes I feel guilty because I was relieved when I heard about his mother's death. It felt like karma in a twisted way. But then I hate myself for thinking that, because no one deserves to lose a parent, no matter how awful they are. The boy who stopped him, though, I owe him so much. Even though I was too scared to trust him at the time, I can't forget how he stepped in and stopped the attack. His simple message on Facebook, checking if I was okay, was more kindness than I'd experienced in the days following that nightmare. I never properly thanked him, and now it feels like it's too late. For years, I blamed myself for being in that house, for hiding in that wardrobe, for not standing up for myself. It's taken a long time to even start letting go of that blame. I know now that I was just a young boy, scared, confused, and in love for the first time. I sometimes wonder if I should have told someone, my father, a teacher, or even a friend, but I was so scared of being judged, outed, or worse, that I kept it all inside. I still don't know if I made the right choice by staying silent, but I'm here now, sharing it with you.